Hello, my name's John Blakey. I'm the Health and Wellbeing Advisor at Fife College. Today I'm just going to take you through a small presentation, a small workshop called An Introduction to Mindfulness. We're going to have a look at what mindfulness is, we're going to do a few practices, and I'm going to give you some information on where you can practice it yourself at home and in college. So the first question to ask yourself is about stress and what makes you stressed. So have a think just for a second about the things that might make you stressed on a daily basis. If I'm thinking about myself or I'm thinking about other students that I've spoken to in the past, the things that make us stressed are money worries, maybe exam deadlines, job if you have a part-time job, family, relationships, just life in general can make us stressed on a daily basis. The thing to remember is that everyone gets stressed at some point. When it becomes an issue is if it controls what you're thinking. A lot of the time, our stress and our worry is based in the future. So when we think about something that worries us, for example, if we think that we got up late this morning, normally you might just think, oh no, I'm going to be late. But what can happen is we project into the future and we catastrophize. So we think about the worst case scenario. So we don't just think, oh, we're getting up late. We think, oh, I'm going to be late for work, the boss is going to hate us, I'm going to lose my job. And suddenly our worry becomes this massive thing out into the future. We sometimes use evidence from the past, perhaps one time when we were late in the past, when it went wrong, and we use that as evidence that this future thing's going to happen. And suddenly we're worrying about this alternative future that hasn't happened yet based on this one thing that happened in the past. That's when stress can become an issue and it can turn into anxiety. One of the things that we can do to kind of combat this is to bring all of these things from the past and the future into the present moment. And mindfulness is about bringing things into the present. You may have heard of the fight or flight response. It's really the fight or flight or freeze response, and this is a natural thing that happens to everybody. Thousands of years ago, when we were kind of cave people, and say a bear came into our cave, our brain would click in and it would tell our body to respond in a way to either fight this predator or to run away from it. Thousands of years later, and we don't have that bear in our cave, that isn't the issue. But the brain still kicks in the same way. The amygdala will kick in and it will tell the hypothalamus to tell the body to prepare itself to fight or to run away from whatever danger befits us. At the minute, it might be a bill that we weren't expecting, it might be a text message that we got. And it isn't the same, clearly, as fighting for your life, but the brain will tell the body that it is. So we will have a physical response to this. Generally speaking, if you're going to fight for your life or you're going to run away from things, then the brain will tell the body to put all its efforts into the arms and the legs, and it will take all the stuff away from the brain so our thoughts aren't clear. It will take it away from the face so we'll have a pale face. Our heart will pound really fast. It will produce adrenaline so that we can fight or we can run away. However, it's just a text message, or it's just an exam coming, or it's a bill on the doorstep that we weren't expecting. But our brain and our body will respond in the same way. So how do we combat this stress and this anxiety? One of the things we can do is we can practice mindfulness. So let's have a look and think about what that is. What I'd like you to do in your class now is to stand up all together, and what I'm going to do is we're all going to clap once all together. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and on 4 we're all going to clap together once. Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hopefully you all clapped all together. We're going to do it again, and this time what I want you to do is to concentrate on what it sounds like. Just concentrate and focus in on what that sound is like. Okay, we're going to do that again, and this time what I want you to do is focus on what it feels like in the palm of your hand. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now, what did that feel like? Could you feel it? I can still kind of feel it rumbling in my hands. Okay, good. Take a seat. Thank you for doing that. I know that's a bit strange. What's all this about? What it's about is that we were thinking in the present moment. When we were clapping our hands, we weren't thinking about anything else. We were just thinking in that present moment. And when I asked you to concentrate on what it sounded like, you weren't thinking about anything else. And when I asked you to concentrate on what it felt like, you weren't thinking about what it sounded like, you were thinking about the feeling in your hand. And our brains can do this. We can focus in on the present moment when we just try and concentrate for a second. And all those worries that are in the future and the past, they just dissipate for a minute and we concentrate on the present moment. And that's what mindfulness is. It's taking those things away just for a minute and bringing things into the present moment, where there are no worries and there are no anxieties. There's just this feeling and just this moment. And that's what it's about. So there's lots of types of mindfulness, there's lots of practices, and we're going to do a practice in a minute to give you an idea of what it's like. But you can do it when you're walking down the street, you can do it when you're washing up. It's just being present in the present moment. If, for example, you walk to college, you might be on your phone, you might be listening to music, you might be doing other things. What you can do is you can try and be present. You can think about the things that you hear, you can think about your feet on the pavement, and you can just bring yourself into the present moment for a minute. And all those practices, if you do that every day, even for 10 seconds a day, will bring you into the present moment a minute. And that's what it's about. Okay. What we're going to do now is a practice called the 3-minute breathing space. And it might feel a bit strange and it might be a bit weird, but just try and go with it and just try and do it just for the next 3 minutes. So the first thing you need to do is you need to sit up straight in your chair. You need to put your hands on your lap and make sure that your feet are firm on the ground. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes in a second, which might be a bit strange. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just look directly at the floor. Okay, so if you've got your hands on your lap, we'll begin. The first thing to do is to take a deep breath and to think about the fact that you're in the moment, that we're here and we're now. Have a think about what thoughts are going through your head and just allow them to be. Think that you are here in the present moment and think about what that feels like. Feel the pressure of your hands on your lap. Feel your feet on the floor. Think about your posture for a second and just allow yourself to be here in this moment for a minute. The second part of the 3-minute breathing space is to concentrate on your breathing. And this is a bit like when we did the clap exercise, concentrating and focusing on your breath. So think about your breath coming in and leaving your body. Think about what your body does when you're breathing. Your shoulders might rise and fall slightly. Your stomach might go in and out. And just really try and focus on your breath. And if your mind wanders to other things and is thinking about other things, just notice what you're thinking about and then try and bring your focus back to your breathing. And as we move into the last minute of the 3-minute breathing space, try and concentrate on your breathing and your whole body, as if your whole body is moving and breathing in and out. Think about the pressure and the temperature of your palms on your legs. Think about your feet on the floor. Think about your facial expression and concentrate on your whole body as one thing, breathing in and out. And again, if your mind starts to wander, just think about what you're thinking about and then try and bring your focus back to your body and your breath. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And that's it. That's the 3-minute breathing space. That might have been a bit weird, it might have felt a bit strange, but just have a think about now about what your experience was. Could you concentrate your mind? Could you bring your focus back to your breathing? Were you thinking about other things? The practice of mindfulness isn't about being in the moment all the time. It's being aware of the fact that your brain's thinking about stuff and then using something just to try and bring that focus back to the present moment. And that's what the practice is. If you enjoyed that and you want some more information on that, there's lots of information I can point you in the direction of. There's lots of information on the Fife College website. There's a Health and Wellbeing part on that website with my information on and my email address. So you can drop me a line and I can point you in the direction of that. Our library has a Health and Wellbeing section and that's got information about mindfulness and meditation in there as well. So there's lots of information you can get your hands on. But if you want to drop me a line, I can certainly point you in the right direction. Thanks very much for doing that and thank you for your time. I hope that was enjoyable. Take care. Bye-bye.